Well, in my bad timeline video, Pokemon met their most unfortunate evolutions. This video explores the best timeline evolutions, where happiness and redemption is just around the corner. Shedinja? Boom, redeemed. Annihilate? Not even an issue anymore. But you'll have to stay till the end for that one. Comment down below some Pokemon that you'd like to see evolved in the best Pokemon timeline, and I may create them in a sequel video. Alright, let's start with the previously mentioned Shedinja. So Shedinja has a lot of talk in its dex entries about stealing souls and even just being a husk. So my idea here was, what if it gained its own new shiny soul? Helping grandmas cross the road and, I guess, volunteer work really turned Shedinja around and it evolved. I referenced the ghost cicada for the design here, as I wanted this almost heavenly angelic looking evolution without taking it into full biblically accurate angel mode. That's more for a dark timeline evo at that point. No more soulless eyes, it has big bright blue eyes looking forward to the future, and a little bit of an extra eye in the center body, as I couldn't keep away from the angel motif, I guess, even giving it a small set of wings to look a bit like a halo as well. I thought hard on how the evo method could be here. One idea was that it would immediately evolve from Shedinja if your Nincada did something good, but that's not really redeeming it. So instead, Shedinja has to take an attack for an ally using Ally Switch, the ultimate sacrifice. Now, yes, I did give Biblicata Wonder Guard, and I'm not competitive-minded enough to know if this one's too undertuned or overtuned with the ability, but no, well, I think this one's just neat. Biblicata, the Soul Pokemon, a bug and ghost type, evolves from Shedinja after using Ally Switch to save an allied Pokemon from an attack that would KO it. A Shedinja that does good deeds miraculously evolves into Biblicata. Now full of life, it flutters about and brings vitality to all around it. No longer does it have a hole in its back. Despite this change, the time it spent as Shedinja means their body is still quite frail physically, and must rely on its amazing otherworldly powers to survive. Biblicata has the ability Wonder Guard. This next one is one of my favorite designs I've done, to be honest, for Skrelp, the nasty little rotten seaweed lad. But what if, in the best universe, they could evolve to be a little less nasty? I thought because Skrelp only eats rotten kelp, and I imagine spends most of its time in polluted water, what if it was a bit more of a clean eater in nicer water? This evolution keeps the leafy sea dragon from before, but pushes it towards one much more greener. I love the looks of leafy sea dragons, and it was super fun to try and figure out a design that wasn't crazy over-designed with all the bits everywhere. I decided to instead make it that Kleeweed here would kind of be that busy of a design when it opens up its tail, but in most situations it wraps it all up, and you know, that'd be a sick animation when it opens it up, maybe even for a signature move. While maybe it isn't as cool as Dragalge, it has a lot of its own charms, and the rendering just came out just so mwah. So remember kids, eat your leafy greens and not rotten kelp, and you too may also evolve into some kind of cleaning dragon Pokemon. Just trust me on this one. Kleeweed, the clean water Pokemon, a water and dragon type. Evolves from Skrelp with a leaf stone while on water. Skrelp that live in clean water evolve into Kleeweed. They love nothing more than to clean up water of trash and rot. Their long leaf-like appendages wrap up together to form a net to scoop up garbage. They then slowly break it down into edible substances for itself. The greener the Kleeweed, the more trash they have cleaned up. Kleeweed has a new ability called Purify, where all poison-type attacks this Pokemon uses are treated as water-type attacks instead. Alright, let's do a real silly one. In no way I could ever imagine this actually happening, but I wanted to make a redeemed Evo for Mimikyu that goes well beyond what you'd think it would be. Batman beyond even, that joke just sucked. So yeah, a Mimikyu that wants to be loved one day protects some smaller, weaker Pokemon, and they accept it for who it is under the cloth. And it evolves, now becoming a protector of justice and very much just Batman. Because Mimikyu is sort of a black mass sort of silhouette kind of Pokemon, I thought it'd be kind of cool if it has that sort of Batman hiding in the darkness vibe to it. They'd still have their long, spooky claws, but only when they need it. I thought it was a silly but kind of big brain move to have their old wooden tail become, a sort of superhero symbol on their chest, like the bat symbol or the Superman S. And you just know that they'd use this like a batarang. Again, I know it's silly, but it's also kind of cool. Eventu, the Justice Pokemon, a ghost and fighting type, evolves from Mimikyu after knocking out an enemy that recently defeated an ally 10 times. No longer fearful of what others think, Mimikyu evolved with a strong sense for protecting smaller Pokemon from evil. Now their visage only strikes terror in bad guys. They strike from the shadows before villains even notice them with a swift strike from their Pikachu tail club. Eventu can even throw it like a boomerang. Eventu has the ability Disguise. You ever just so unchilled that you need to brainwash people to do your world domination bidding for you? No, just Malamar? Nah. Well, don't worry, in this new timeline, Inkay evolves into something different. I actually had an extreme sickness while doing this one, a real bad flu. And I don't know what inspired me to do this one really. I must have seen a Rorschach test or something in my head, but I like the idea of instead of using their mind powers for evil, they'd evolve to help, becoming a Therapus cephalopod, or a Cephalopid. Yeah. The ink now is this bioluminescent goo that they're used to communicate with other Pokemon, and even it floats around in their head like a weird lava lamp, and go, "What do you see?" to others. This is a weird connection I made after finishing this Pokemon, but it almost has this sort of Steve Jobs tech billionaire look to it. I think because of my decision to have the black tentacle and body make it looks a bit like a turtleneck, and the glasses pattern, they all just kind of comes together to make a bit of a squid that will walk up on stage and announce some new horrid AI startup to drain the planet's resources. Yay, dark timeline again. Cephalopid, the therapy Pokemon, a pure psychic type, evolves from Inkay at level 30. Cephalopid learnt to control the ink they spray to create patterns and symbols that help calm the emotions of others, and seeks to guide troubled Pokemon to a better mental state. The head will glow and shift within and is recently being used by Cephalopid to converse with humans in a basic fashion. Some have even begun to help humans, much like they do with Pokemon. Cephalopid have the abilities Clear Body and Healer. I love kitties and I love puppies, but Greavard and Houndstone are a line I want to cover here and in my bad timeline video at some point. Here, Greavard, instead of becoming a scary, skelly dog and draining life force, now becomes something much sweeter, like if you cry every time. I like the idea of Greavard leaning into the shepherd dog idea and becoming a popular trope, a shepherd of souls. But not for humans, I know, for doggy Pokemon souls. I just had this super cute idea of the candle on Greavard's head now becoming a holder for flickering life force flames, and each would kind of equate to a soul they are shepherding along. And it meant that I'd get to create these super adorable motes of ghostly energy that would feel right at home with Skeledirge's bird. I really tried to round out the rough edges that Greavard had, kind of no more spiky teeth, as I didn't want it to look like it was ever going to bite someone again. Now all it wants is to be pet, lick your face, and hold on to some puppy Pokemon souls till they are ready to depart. I did make quite a few ghost-type Pokemon in this video, which you'd think I wouldn't have if it was the good timeline, but I think that if a Pokemon is already a ghost-type, they don't necessarily have to lose that to be redeemed. There's plenty of good ghosts out there for those with the eyes to see them. Remember Casper? Yeah, I've got you there with that dated reference. Shepard, the shepherd Pokemon, a ghost and fairy type, evolves from Greavard at level 30 during the daytime. Shepard are shepherds of dog Pokemon souls. Each of the candles upon their head holds a soul that stays with Shepard till they are ready to move on. When threatened, Shepard plays with the opponent, genuinely unknowing the danger it is in. All the while their soul companions are draining the foe of their life force. Shepard and its souls will never hurt anything good-natured and kind, however. Shepard have the abilities Flame Body and Fluffy. This one will probably shock you, as this is the only one I thought made sense to remove the ghost type from. I warn you, we are doing a mask that evolves normally into the vengeful, hate-filled Cofagrigus, but not here. Having your mask become this creature is kind of wild, but I love the idea. Instead of becoming human again like it wanted to, it becomes a Bennu bird, an Egyptian myth which is the symbol of rebirth and is just a joy to look at. That's right, your mask evolves into an Egyptian heron phoenix equivalent. I tried to make it so that it wasn't the most jarring transformation ever, and it still holds onto its precious mask, but this time not kind of clinging to it, instead being a part of them and having similar eyes to that of your mask. The rest is all new and shiny. Losing the ghost type, Hairy Bennu becomes a pure flying type, which just felt kind of fitting. Flying type feels very free, and being single type lets me say pure a lot, but that kind of works too. I really like the design and colors I did here. They feel really nice to my peepers, and in stark contrast to Cofagrigus. Although it really looks like Hairy Bennu here just told the funniest joke of all time and is just having a riot of a laugh. Hairy Bennu, the rebirth Pokemon, a pure flying type. Evolves from Yamask at level 58 during the day. Some Yamask accept their passing as a human, and through this acceptance, they evolve into Hairy Bennu, a Pokemon with no hatred towards others, unlike Cofagrigus. Hairy Bennu feathers have amazing restorative properties when used in medicine, and has led it to become known as a symbol of good health and the cycle of rebirth in many regions. Hairy Bennu have the abilities Regenerator and Healer. And finally, we managed to calm them down behind the scenes. It's Primeape, who instead of getting so angry they just straight up die, now chill out a lot and learns rage isn't the answer fully. The Evo method here is kind of funny, I gotta admit. After using Rage Fist 20 times and Primeape about to evolve, you cancel the evolution, and that induces a different evolution. Primeape is just like, yeah, you are right, Sephiropid. Violence isn't the answer. At least not in the way I fought with Rage Fist. I like the idea of keeping the general Primeape shape that them and Annihilape have, but this one, instead of having hair kind of going up into wispy moats, now flows down in a long and wise beard which hangs just above the ground, as our new Evo Zenpreya now floats using their new psychic powers. One thing I love is the idea of prayer beads. Zenyatta had the right idea yeeting them at the enemy. So Zenpreya has berries that they're definitely not just stolen from Persimmons, they're floating around them. I like to think of its attack animations kind of launching them all out for physical or spinning them around like the barrel of a cannon for special. Very zen, no violence here. It's funny, before Scarlet and Violet was revealed, I did make an Evo for Primeape looking like a garden gnome, which kind of has some energy like Zenpreya here, at least a little. Zenpreya, the calm Pokemon of fighting and psychic type. Zenpreya evolves from Primeape after using Rage Fist 20 times and cancelling evolution. Zenpreya comes about when a Primeape denies its rage and decides to live a peaceful, balanced life. They carry a necklace of berries which they float with their mind. Zenpreya uses these to focus when their mind wanders towards rage again. Their mind now unlocked, Zenpreya floats effortlessly and still moves with speed in battle, all while launching powerful psychic attacks. Zenpreya have the abilities Levitate and Inner Focus. And that's all the good timeline evolutions I have for you today. What'd you think? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and share the video around, and comment below what your thoughts of the video, and if you'd like to see more good timeline evolutions in the future. Just remember that when day is dark, remember happy day, and that will be the best timeline for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Life could be a dream. Life could be a dream. Do, 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 shaboom.